Hey guys, I'm Janet on occasion, and today, well, we're back aboard our ship, aren't we? Being a rogue trader. In Rogue Trader. It's the name of the game. What a coincidence. Anyway, so Vox Master Sigdis Siri Otter, we did just defeat a Chaos Warrior, which was pretty cool, actually. It did make it really feel like Space Marines are a like powerful thing, which is pretty cool. Like, a lot of games just sort of everything feels about the same power level, but like, yeah, the dude had like 300 health and armor that was really hard to get through. Yeah, we were using all of our debuffs and stuff on him. It was very cool, very fun fight. Nice to have something a bit different, because every other fight has just been a gaggle of random dudes, so it's nice to mix it up a bit, even if it was just a very big dude. But it was fun. I enjoyed that. So thanks to the, sorry, what am I doing? Thanks to the Emperor, you are alive, your ladyship. We are most gratified by your return, and the crew is full of zeal to carry out any orders you may have. Why do you not send a shuttle to the planet for me? What's happening on the planet now? What's the current situation? Do we have any hope of retaking the planet? Who cares? Who cares about planet? Rubbish planet. Though, I'm a bit confused about how we made it off the planet at all, because the Chaos Space Marine, when it was almost dead, destroyed the shuttle that we flew off on anyway, so I don't know if that was supposed to be like a, you know, if you get to the end of that fight and you're not able to stop it, he destroys your way out and then you die. That's kind of novel, but also kind of infuriating in a lot of ways, but then it didn't seem to make any difference at all. It just meant that he attacked the shuttle instead of any of our guys, so I really have no idea. So why do you not send the shuttle to me? I do apologise, your ladyship, but we were unable to receive your request for evacuation. The Vox link was overrun with vile interference, screams, blasphemous hymns, and other equally sinister noises. Any who listened to the interface of the Vox for a protracted period lost their sanity. Several dozen operators went mad monitoring the Voxcaster in the hope of hearing your voice. Each one of them waited in vain. Oh dear. So, what's the current situation aboard? The navigator sanctum is no longer empty, but the warp engine is still refusing to obey the engine seers. Without it, we cannot perform a warp jump. Pascal's voice buzzes anxiously from his Vox. It may be angry, or perhaps it is lamenting the injuries it has suffered. I will immediately initiate preparations for a prayer service. If the Omnissiah grants me comprehension, I will appease the machine spirit of this vessel. What's happening on the planet? Our Roger operators are reporting numerous uprisings and other manifestations of the arch-enemy's powers at various locations on the planet. Based on the fragments of the communications picked up by our Vox operators, there is practically no resistance being offered by the Governor's forces. Millions of people are converting to the blasphemous Final Dawn cult en masse and assembling in prayer circles. Yeah, I mean, like, clearly there's no hope, right? You either fall to chaos or you die. Like, yeah. The power of the Emperor pales in comparison, you know, for those people. They can't see any hint of the Emperor doing anything, they just see chaos. And the warp does corrupt, you know, in and of itself. Just being on a planet that is, like, doomed like that is going to corrupt you, regardless. So, you know, pretty grim for him. Do you have any hope of retaking the planet? I fear that Ricard Minoris is lost. The situation is zeering. Blah, 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 blah. He's the Vox Master. She's the Vox Master, rather. She should be able to speak, but she can't. What an idiot. I fear that Ricard Minoris is lost. The situation is deteriorating by the minute. We must leave the system as soon as possible. However, there are still people on the planet who have not succumbed to heresy and are worthy of rescue. Besides a small number of our own shuttles, we also have the shuttle salvaged from the starport. We took everything. The Dark Eyes, the Sisters Battle Flash. We must save as many as we can. This has all happened for a reason. Saint Argenta, whose name I carry with reverence and trepidation, is famed for saving the people of a dying world through the power of prayer. I'm sure that'll help. The God Emperor himself sent a star from the heavens that lifted the saint and her followers up to the sky, away from corruption and death. We must do as she did, direct all our efforts to saving those people who at this moment look to the heavens in hope of salvation. The lives of peasants are of little value. Pascal, don't be a dick. Our prime objective is to save the Holy Relic, the miraculous fusion reactor, the Electro-Priest who guard and tend to it. The planet is doomed. Why would we save that? I guess we could put it on our ship. and it'll make us go brr. I don't know. Abelard furrows his brows. Every moment we spend in proximity to the dying world, we are putting ourselves at risk. Your life, Lord Captain, is far more valuable than all of Ricard Minoris. The von Valencia's dynasty cannot be allowed to perish, and so, lamentable though it is, we must rule out any idea of evacuation. Heinrich's eyes, like two deep dark pools, resolutely fixed on you. The world is doomed, and its inhabitants along with it. The disappearance of the star was the final nudge toward death, the finale of the cult of the Final Dawn's plans. I once witnessed a similar event, a world that had surrendered to the servants of the archenemy and permitted corruption to enter too deep. At this moment, millions of people are bowing down before those who promised them salvation, and they are willingly giving over their souls to chaos, a sacrifice great enough to bring forth a demon world. Our only hope of stopping this process is to retreat to a safe distance from the planet and conduct targeted bombing of the Electro-Priest Monastery. If we blow up the reactor, the thermonuclear reaction will follow. The world's oxygen will evaporate, killing off the entire biosphere. In doing this, we will save millions of souls from a fate worse than death, and we will save Ricard Minoris from becoming an outpost of the archenemy. Something lurking in the depths of your consciousness bristles at the passing thought of saving people. The spike of horror you feel takes your breath away. It is as if you are planning to steal the prey of a mighty predator. The planet is already wrapped in a thread stretching out from the warp. It deserves to have a new master. I don't know why this is attached to Master Vigdis, but sure. I guess because that was the conversation that started, so that becomes the default. I don't know. Coding stuff, who cares? Which of the planet's inhabitants can we evacuate? Send an optimal course, carry out the orbital strike on the Electro-Priest Monastery. Recast Minoris must fall, and we'll not waste any time on this world. Pull back. Genuinely, I think just destroying the planet and all of its inhabitants is both the kindest and smartest thing to do. Because if it becomes a demon world, nothing in the system is safe, right? We have other places we need to go to in this area. We need to wipe out the planet entirely. Not a single person on that planet can we trust won't be in the cult already. There's no way of knowing. As was kind of demonstrated even by the parade, right? We don't know who is a rebel. And just leaving them there, they will all turn eventually. Or we'll send a shuttle down and then just people on the shuttle being exposed to that will turn rebel. Like, there's no way of guaranteeing any of this will work. The planet is lost, regardless. But if we can blow it up before everyone on that planet gives their souls to chaos, we save them from eternal damnation. You know? That's kind of a big deal. Also, we can't guarantee that the relic, you know, the great fusion reactor or whatever, we can't even guarantee that that isn't, like, affected by the events either. So I think this is a noble sacrifice, like that relic, to stop the existence of a demon world. Seems kind of a big deal. So, I don't know, I think Pascal might forgive us. Yes, Lord Captain, I will immediately inform the navigation and artillery decks of the impending maneuver. The right choice, Lord Captain. May the sacred exterminatus cleanse this veil of corruption. Pascal didn't seem to mind. Oh, or maybe. Dunno. The prize attack priests around the cogitator almost drown out the sounds of bustling bridge behind you. Pascal, poring intently over the data slate in his hands, extends a mechanandrite toward you. Please take your place at the cogitator, Lord Captain. I mean, why do I always have to do this? I just get electrocuted. It doesn't work. Although I guess we have to be the one to say to the exterminatus, yes, you can fire. I guess. Yeah, I'll just do it. Huge machine in front of you is lit by dozens of vid screens and hundreds of lumens. The blinking lights and endless rush of symbols and digits on the green background make your eyes water, and a vague sense of alarm simmers in the depths of your mind. The typical reaction of a layperson when confronted with the magnitude of the omniscience creation. Among the numerous controls, you see a mouth of a cyber gargoyle, the same as the gate. Excuse me, same as the gate of the warrant chamber. I would have ended recording already today. I want to go make dinner. But I couldn't, because I couldn't save it between episodes. So anyway, let's carry on. Pascal's voice becomes imbued with imperious force. Servants of the machine god, heed my command. Acolytes, prepare the incense, instrumentation of the liturgy of machine spirit, propitiation. Senior technomats recite the prayer of cogitating. Recite the prayer to generate a current data report. Operations will be marked with the Companological Protocol Omnisire Rejoice. I must inform you that the purposes of safety, complete reassembly of the Warp Sextant, and updating of its Datasmith blessings are required. If this is not done, then at launch the volumes of aggregate calculation errors could result in the destruction of the data crypts. But as soon as we do not have 100 hours at our disposal, we must omit this procedure. Pascal looks down at the data slate in his hands. A minor deviation from the operation protocol of the for the sake of appeasing the spirit. Deviate from the operation ritual? That sounds dubious, especially coming from you. Oh, listen, can't you all do this without me? I'm no servant of the Omniscient after all. Or what must I do? Just what must I do? Place your hand inside the throat of the Cogitator Guardian, the Cyber Gargoyle, which has been assigned to guard the forbidden data crypts. The dynastic blood extracted from your veins will serve as a key to the data core where the machine spirit dwells. To it, we will offer our prayers so that we may bypass the protective protocol for defective connections and launch the Warp Sextant. Pascal's voice grows quieter. The lores of the Omnisire know no exceptions, and so in this ritual I will remain at your side to placate the wrathful machine spirit in whose abode you will be intruding. Follow my liturgies, Lord Captain, and we may receive his blessing. This all sounds terrible. Let's do it though. Let's feed this computer an arm. I'm sure it's all fine. The metal jaws. I mean, we've all seen The Mummy, right? You remember the bit where they put the hand in that thing and then they were totally fine? Yeah, I remember that too. Metal jaws clamp down on your hand, breaking your delicate corporeal sheath. just our skin. Delicate corporeal sheath. Skin is what that means. And releasing warm red liquid into its gullet. At the same time, the image of the vid screen before you changes. Connecting. Success register. Bloody blar. Techno babble. By my authority to revoke the inviolability protocol of the warp engine. Or reach out touch the keys on the instrument panel. Gesture the vid screen. What does it all mean? What's it all mean, Basil? Send your voice to the Cogitator servant, whose bronze-bound skeleton is built to the Cogitator housing, jerks into motion. With a screech, its skull rotates towards you and then stops in that position. Benevolent code, a voice receptor. Pascal emits a sequence of binaric signals and then is silent for several seconds. I hypothesize that the defect is located in the analyzer block. I register a reaction to the signal, but no processed response. A temporary override is permissible. The Majos intently studies the vidscreen. The shell was created on a forge world unknown to me, initiating standard invocation of the machine spirit. Pascal leans over the adjacent instrument panel and sets his hands on the controls. At the same time, a quiet stream of machine code begins pouring forth from his Vox, which I assume sounds like a dial-up modem. By my authority, I revoke the inviolability protocol of the warp engine. I mean, that feels like a thing we were gonna do, but let's let Pascal lead. Lord Captain, I now ask you to address the machine spirit. Speak the following command. It's the one at the bottom. The voice receptor will receive the vocal entry. Without your sanction, the machine spirit will not accept the data from the warp sextant. One of the Cogitator's vid screens turns red. Oh my god, it has as well. Bloody hell, special effects. Oof. Pascal sees this and raises his hand, signaling the rest of the tech priests, then withdraws a connector from his sleeve and connects it to the machine. Servants of the Omnisire make now the offering of cleansed data crypts to the machine spirit so that it may be filled with their true and calibrated data. May the Omnisire have mercy on our souls. In meek solemnity, the acolytes offer up the cleansed data crypts to the warp engine, one after another, repeating prayers of exaltation. After anointing the contacts with sacred unguents, Pascal inserts them in the Cogitator's slots. Your head begins to spin from the holy censers, foul-smelling clouds of smoke, and from the loss of blood that the cyber gargoyle continues to drink from you, and the world swims before your eyes. Let this mechanism awaken in renewed purity. Pascal enters a sequence of commands and raises his head. Watching the vid screens, suddenly he stops dead. No. His fingers fly over the command runes, entering command after command, his mechadendrites clicking their pincers. pull at one lever after another. The vid screen fills with strings of symbols completely incomprehensible to you, but clearly conveying something to the Magos. Say nothing and do not interfere? After a few seconds, one of the data crypts mounted on the cogitator begins to emit sparks. A moment later, another data crypt does the same. The next bursts into flame and gives off foul-smelling smoke. Around you, the omnicized servants break off from their prayers, and someone bursts into frantic pleading. Pascal mournfully grates out. The massive errors in the warp section's calculations is destroying the data repositories. The offering did not appease the ship's spirit. The warp engine cannot be filled with the motive force. We are trapped. A moment later, the Magos continues uncertainly. Perhaps an alternative Ryzen protocol, or an emergency launch of the auxiliary coils. The tech priest bends over the cogitator, but something in his pose and movements reveals his desperation. While the other vid screens are filled with more and more strings of symbols, the monitor in front of you blinks, and its static image changes. Pascal is too engrossed in this ritual to notice. Can I just like break us out of this a second? Because I'm feeling a bit broken out of this. Because I actually have no idea what we're doing. Like, I don't even know if this is us shooting, like, firing the exterminatus, or if this was that other thing that he was doing, where he said he needed to, like, fix the ship. But, like, I have no idea. Like, I literally don't know, because it's all in babble. Like, all of it is babble. It's quite annoying. And I think I did get the chance to say, so what are we doing exactly? But I think that was, like, the process rather than the specifics of, like, why we are in this event in the first place. I don't know. It really didn't set it up. Like, he could have just said, hello, Captain, let us do this thing, in a way that we know what the hell is going on. It's just, it seems very silly. But anyway. So, while the other vid screens are filled with more and more strings of symbols, the monitor in front of you blinks, static image changes, Pascal's too engrossed in the ritual to notice. I think I'll have Magos look at it. Although he might be doing something important. God, I don't know. I'll let him do it. We don't have decent tech, you know. Pascal turns towards you, his flickering visor betraying his anxious state. Lord Captain, He stops short when he sees the vid screen. Distorted transmissions from the data core, most likely the residual cognitive functions of the built-in servitors. Omnisire shield us from machine ghosts. He returns to manipulating the cogitator's command rooms. Machine spirit, can you hear me? The cogitated servant creaks quietly in its joints, a sound that is drowned out by the binaric hymns and the tapping of command rooms. Prompt. Injury rescue query. Rescue? Yes, Machine Spirit. Rescue us. Oh, Machine Spirit, this is the Lord Captain of this vessel, oh baby, and start the warp engine. Oh, hallowed Machine Spirit, in the name of the Omnisire and the Emperor, reveal unto us the power of the God Gates our doom. Useless spineless crap, I command you, rid us of your malady. Say yes, rescue us. Huh. Yeah, not sure. I think it would two. Just tell it to do the thing. What happens afterwards is kind of like irrelevant, possibly. Pascal's voice shakes with tension. That was a non-executable request, Lord Captain, even if the voice receptor could interpret such a... Pascal's next vocalization goes unsynthesized as he sees the vid screen begin to stabilize one after another. The strings frenetically galloping across the green background are replaced with stable images or regular updating status reports. Only one monitor remains inexplicably red. The tech priest Vox crackles in shock, but his report is as clipped and clinical as ever. Registering. Warp sextant activated. Registering. Data stream stabilizing. Registering. 0 data errors found. Reporting. The warp engine is ready for translation. After a pause, Pascal adds, okay, so this is just us fixing the warp engine, not blowing up the thing. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we need the warp engine first so we can translate out of real space away from the inevitable explosion? I don't know. Either way, we need the warp engine to be fixed regardless what we do, I suppose. Anyway, after a pause, Pascal adds, I am also reporting evidence indicating a Category 3 miracle fulfilling the criterion. Thou shalt witness the mechanism that toils in glorification of its function and in defiance of the activation. Oh, the helmsman is here as well, apparently. Is he over yonder, or is he here somewhere? Okay, I think he might be over yonder. That's fine. Oh, what was the helmsman? Was he the I think I remember which one he was. Lord Captain, Revel here. The crew are almost finished carrying out the orders given earlier, and I've just received confirmation from the engineering halls. I don't know what you did, but the warp engine's up and raring to go. We're ready to begin the translation to the warp, your ladyship. What just happened? I don't care. I don't care what just happened. It works. That's enough for me. Like, the techno nonsense, I don't think my character cares about either. As long as the job gets done. You know, as long as she's able to... As long as the ship functions, she's happy enough, alright? Lord Captain speaking. I give the order to commence translation to the warp. Are we, though? Because don't we need to... Like, did we blow up the planet? It's just not told us, or what? I have no idea. Very odd. Waiting for you to ascend the captain's throne, Lord Captain. May the Emperor protect us. There it is.
Von Valancius flagship left the doomed star system. As the void ship made its way deeper into the Coronis expanse, the rogue trader's subjects bid farewell to the late head of the dynasty, Theodora von Valancius. Having paid their last respects and mourned the past, the people mustered their strength and turned their eyes toward the future.
Okay. Vox Massivigdus, Otto. Lord Captain, allow me to report. Our journey through the warp is coming to an end. Lady Navigator Orselio informs me that we've reached a point where we can translate to real space in the Thunderbunter system. The Lady Navigator and her pilots are awaiting your permission to begin the process. Oh, we're at the beta. This is the start of where the beta is. Sorry, not the beta, the alpha. The previous build of the game. So I guess we can't visit those other planets because we accidentally visited that other planet first. That's disappointing. I actually want to explore the rest of the place. So I guess we're kind of done then. So okay, we'll just sort of see how it leads on. We'll have new context for them chatting now that we've just done all the other thing. But I feel there was no closure for that planet whatsoever. Like, at all. We weren't involved in... We basically weren't involved in any way in the exterminatus, which should be a big deal, you know, destroying a planet. I feel like we should probably, like we have to appease the warp drive with gallons of our blood, we probably have to do something to say, yeah, fire the planet-destroying bomb. So that feels a bit weird. I feel like that whole sequence needs tightening up, especially because it ends not with anything pertaining to that chapter, but basically, like, that could have been at the end of the prologue, almost. But, you know, I guess the whole chapter was supposed to be, oh, desperate times, because of what happened in the prologue, so... Oh, that was chapter 1, by the way, not chapter 2. I don't know if I bothered to explain that. My plan was always to play up to the beta. But anyway, so, like, I don't know, that whole end of that chapter was just... I wasn't sure what we were doing in that last sequence. Then we go, oh, that was to get the warp engines online, and then everything else just sort of happened without us, even though it should have maybe landed harder. And that's kind of the issue I had with the planet broadly, is we never really met anyone that I cared about who was on that planet. We just had to sort of assume that there would be innocent people that we should care about and work our way from there. But there was no one there that we met that were like, oh no, we don't want them to die. None of it. It was, yeah, that was all moot. And then when it does get blown up, it almost just in the background of a cutscene. That seems more interested in seeing us travel to, you know, translate out of real space or whatever. So, yeah, I don't know. That feels odd to me. That whole sequence feels really weird. So I think that needs tightening up. I think that needs tightening up a lot. But anyway. So we're coming out of the warp, heading to the Furibundus sector. Yeah, the Furibundus system, rather. The Lady Navigator and her pilots are awaiting your permission to begin the process. The Furibundus system is home to Footfall, the only Imperium outpost with a functioning wharf in the Coronis Expanse. The tech priests are begging you to have mercy on the machines worn down by the warp and to allow the servants of the Omnicide to heal the void ship's wounds in the dock. The prayers and rituals will take some time, which our astropathic choir will use to establish a connection with the prime worlds of your protectorate, Dargonus, Janus, Kiava Gamma. Master Zachary Weiss has recovered an invitation previously adrift in the Inventorium. The Liege of Footfall has humbly requested an audience with the rogue trader of the von Valancius dynasty. According to Master Zachary, the message was tinted with shades of pleading. I quote, apparently the Liege is anxious to meet as soon as possible. Footfall, the place where filth and sanctity go hand in hand. Reverend Hieronymus Doloroso will likely expect a visit from me. I imagine he will be interested in talking to you as well, Morgana. I will be leaving a void ship when we arrive on Footfall, Morgana. Once that is done, consider the Lord Inquisitor's task complete. But before I leave you, Morgana, Heinrich's produced a small device wrapped in velvet. I was supposed to deliver this to Lady Theodora, but considering the circumstances, I'm giving it to you. This is an elucidator, the sacred machine that can translate the languages of distant and lost worlds to Imperial Gothic. It is even capable of handling Xenos languages, up to a point. There may be flaws in translation, but the overall meaning should be clear. I hereby inform the rogue trader that over the course of a comprehensive rite of system inspection, this unit discovered data within the captain's cogitator that is concealed from prying eyes by means of a personal cipher, and the sacrament of algorithmic authorization. Unit Morgana van Valancius has been added to the accessed list and assigned the designator Keeper 2. The data can be accessed from the captain's cogitator under the condition that the unit possesses the decryption key. You detect a hint of something resembling curiosity in Pascal's mechanical voice. Okay. Well, there's a lot going on. Abelard, know anything about the Liege of Footfall?
Vladim Takada is a very peculiar young man. Consider your upcoming conversation of baptism of fire in Footfall's political arena. Such things are not spoken out loud, but Liege Takada is the appointee of the Kasbalika mission, the largest robber baron crime syndicate in the Calixus sector. They specialize in cold trade, the buying and selling of all kinds of Xenos rubbish. Footfall was previously run by a liege who did business with several criminal factions at once. But he suffered an accident. The reins of power were picked up by Vladim Takara, whose appointment benefits not only the Kasbalika, but also their most powerful ally in the Coronis Expanse, rogue trader Caligos Winterscale. Vladim is a slippery yet very cautious fellow. He does not usually beat around the bush and does not play mind games. Perhaps more importantly, he is no fool. Fools do not rise this high in the Kasbalikan hierarchy. Keep all of this in mind. You're a rogue trader. You stand above him in status and wield considerable power. Having said that, history has seen cases where Kasbalikan barons cross swords with rogue traders and emerged victorious. Do not forget that and remain vigilant.
The Kasbalika, vile tech thieves. This girl's voice barks out the last word, like a profanity. Okay. Tell Lady Navigator to give her leave to make the transition from the warp into real space. Yeah, I think that's important. Don't want to stress her too much. Victus begins issuing instructions. The massive ship appears to change with her every word. The bridge is set in motion as hundreds of people start to prepare for the shift to real space, and measured chanting fills the corridors, safeguard the vessel and its crew. Victus turns to you again. One more thing, Lord Captain. No one at the station knows about Lady Theodora's demise and you inheriting the title. Liege Takara will be informed. It is required so that we can use the dock, and besides, he is expecting a personal audience with the rogue trader. He will not meet with an unknown person of unclear standing. However, there is still a matter of announcing your arrival. You can either arrive on the station with the proper pomp and ceremony, or choose to visit it incognito. I'll arrive officially? I'll arrive officially. It will be done, Lord Captain. Victus bows again. With your gracious permission, I'll return to my duties. And, yeah, that's that then. We're done. We're done here, guys. That's it. Yeah, I know, we just sort of came out of the blue there. I was really hoping to explore more of that previous system, because there are a bunch of different planets. There's like the prison planet and all sorts. I kind of figured we had to go to all of them in kind to kind of succeed in the mission, but we kind of got rushed off because the planet, you know, the sun got blown up, which is kind of annoying. I'm a bit upset by that, really. I feel like we've missed out on a lot of like excitement and adventure and stuff. I don't know if they're trying to go for like replay value, which I guess technically it does. It means that when this game inevitably does hit like 1.0, I can kind of start again and we can visit a bunch of places we haven't already, and you know, it might make for a more interesting campaign if we can sort of tick a bunch of boxes that we weren't able to tick later, and hopefully a lot of stuff we have done will be like tightened up and like polished, and we'll have more options and there'll be more context for things that are going on, just like a bunch of stuff that I think the game is currently missing. But I'm enjoying the hell out of it regardless. I know it seems like it does test my patience a lot at times, because I just know there's a lot of missing polish, missing context for things. That stuff just needs to be tied up a hell of a lot. But like, even so, I have still been playing it, and I am sad that I'm sort of at the end of my, you know, what I decided would be this campaign. But the thing is, I need to leave something. I need to leave something for when we play this in earnest, when the full game comes out. So, yeah, I think that's it, guys. That's us, we're done. Comment, like, subscribe, and hit the bell. You know, keep an eye on the 1.0 release looming, because there will be a full series of this at that point. Almost certainly. So I really hope to see you again then. Should be fun. So guys, comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys.
Reduced to dust.